Tariffs, well, those are back in the headlines if they ever left. And while they might sound like a global issue, well, they're also having a quiet impact closer to home, including on some retirement plans. Joining us to explain what that might mean for retirees, we've got Gary, Mattson, Taylor Stewart, part of the team at Mattson Financial Services. That's a firm that's been helping people retire successfully for decades right here in West Michigan. You can also catch them on their popular radio show, Money Mentors. Good morning, Gary. Good morning, Taylor.
Good morning. I'm doing great.
Great. Glad to be here.
Tariffs.
I'm ready to talk about tariffs.
Tariffs.
Again. Yep.
I mean, a word that we weren't even talking about a couple years ago, it feels like, and now everybody knows the word tariffs.
100%.
How in the world can that affect a retiree?
I think the biggest thing that's going to affect is that cost of living, right? The cost of goods and services. But it's also going to then affect the companies that provide those goods and services, which are in the stock market. So it's a twofold effect, right? And how long lasting is it going to be? How do we protect ourselves from that market volatility, but mainly protect your income? Because you're in retirement now. We're not continuing to put money away. We're pulling money out, right?
That's got to be a pretty scary thing to say, okay, I'm really heavily invested in, say, NVIDIA or something like that. And then you see these tariffs come through and you're wondering, what's that going to do from our portfolio?
And that's really, at Mattson Financial Services, we have clarity of what the portfolio is holding. So we can actually make changes. That's what's really, really important. So many people use mutual funds or things that the advisor just says, hey, that's what's going on, hang on, ride it out. We're looking for the opportunity. We want to have the opportunity for the client. And so we've had great results by changing things midstream if we need to, changing things in the portfolio and increasing or decreasing risk depending upon the client, and making sure that growth orientation or money that we need is continually there. Because the best thing for any portfolio is to take income from profits, not principal.
Absolutely. You want that money coming in from something that you kind of earned, not from the stuff that you're earning it from. Right?
Yeah, because once you kill the golden goose, there is no eggs.
There are no more eggs.
So we don't even want to have a goose that's a little sick. We want to have
very healthy
future
goose
covered.
Well, most people's geese, I would say, are in a box somewhere, a bunch of papers, But how do you you're talking about a financial plan. Most people don't have a financial plan probably sitting at home. They've got a bunch of receipts and documents and things like that. Is that what people are bringing in to turn this into a plan?
Yep, exactly. They've got a bunch of accounts or a 401k plan, right? Which is really just an account. So you don't have a plan as far as how you're going to structure those withdrawals coming out. How are you going to take care of your critical income need? What about your lifestyle? Maybe you want to leave a legacy and pass money on to the grandkids. So if you just have these accounts, it's a good start, right? Absolutely. But we need to put it together in a formalized plan, looking at all the different things out there from Social Security to taxes to healthcare. How's it going to provide and generate the income that you need in retirement, but continue to grow so you can pass that on to your loved ones?
The problem or fault with a plan is not what you know, it's what you don't know. That's going to come and hurt you. And whether it's short-term or long-term, it could happen very soon, or it could be late in life where you're taking required minimum distributions at a higher tax rate than should have been. So again, all these things come into play, and we're going to complete a plan for all of it, black and white, simple to read and understand.
And of course, that plan includes me not outliving my income, right? Number one concern that people have. You've heard this time and time again, that people come in and say, I'm worried I might not have enough.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the number one concern. And a lot of times we'll see it when people have already retired, they come in and they're just saying, hey, we saw you on TV or we heard you on the radio and we want to make sure that we get that double check and that we're good. And most times we make a couple tweaks and help solidify some of that income and ensure that we're going to be able to continue to grow that portfolio so they don't outlive their money. But things in life happen. Market volatility is going to happen. Taxes are going to change what your income requirements are. So we also can't be locked in. We need to be able to call an audible and make some changes as your life is going to change.
Absolutely. That game plan is key, and I think you get that game plan lots of places, but those audibles. So if you're calling up your fiduciary and they're saying, hey, yeah, just write it out, things will be okay, and not saying things like, where's an opportunity for us to make some money here? Then maybe you should be calling Mattson, because that's what they do. And you are offering such a great offer right now for our viewers at home. If you're in or near retirement and you want to get a fresh look at your plan, maybe you have that plan as you heard, but it could get tweaked and a lot better. If you've saved $250,000 or more, the team at Mattson's going to sit down with you to build that customized strategy to address your income, your investments, your taxes, your health care, maybe some of those unexpecteds that you don't know about, all to help keep your retirement on that steady ground. And of course, you can call 1-800-536-8907 right now to schedule that personal appointment. That number once more, 1-800-536-8907 for a retirement that deserves that strong foundation.